Hello everyone, welcome to the show. If you're watching for the first time, my name is Nancy Guitar and this is Getting to Know You. We have a really great show today because I get to pry into the lives of two people. How cool is that? But before we get there, for some reason, I was thinking about names, last names, their origins and meanings. Take my last name, for example. Guitar comes from southern France, and it's from the Germanic first name Whitford, which is Germanic origin. And from what I can determine, it has maybe a D on the end or no D, which is exactly the case with my family. On our birth certificates, some of my brothers and sisters have a D, some of us don't. We have no idea why. It's just one of those weird things. I looked up the meaning of the name Goldsmith just because. It's Anglo-Saxon and refers to someone who works with gold. The same can be said for the name Silversmith. Then I became really curious. What is the meaning of the name Sexsmith? Well, I didn't get to it. I was distracted thinking about today's show and our guests. Our first guest is Amber Price, maiden name Short. I don't think I'd want the last name Short. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but I don't want people calling me Short. Amber lives here in Chilliwack. She's married and the mother of a young son, and she has a business. I think that's a lot to juggle. I wonder how she does it. Oh, maybe she has a maid, a live-in maid. You know, I want to know this, and I'm going to ask her right now. Amber, thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Taking time out of your busy day. Please, have a seat here with me.
Thank you.
All right. So Amber, obviously I have some questions for you. The first question is, do you have a live-in maid?
Well, at various times throughout my adult life, I've had people help me with cleaning when things get a little hairy. But right now, no. I do my own cleaning, as unglamorous as it is.
Well, you're so busy. I just wonder how you manage it all. And I was thinking about, like when I grew up, men and women's roles were definitely defined. You know, there's women's work and men's work. So how does it work in your family?
Blue jobs and pink jobs, as they call them.
Oh, I never heard that term before. That's kind of cool.
Well, you know, just like any team, like at the bookstores, I find everybody has their strengths and things that they like to do, and trying to convince somebody to do something they don't like to do never really goes well. So my husband likes floors, for example. He does floors. Oh. I like bathrooms and laundry. So we split things up based on kind of what we're naturally good at or like doing.
Right. Okay. So, but does he change dirty diapers?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. He's excellent with a baby because he knows I get up all night. So that gets me a lot of like points. When I need something, I can cash in those. But I was up 3 times last night, points.
Wow. So the little guy's Julian, right?
Julian.
And
yes.
how old is he?
He turned 11 months on the 19th.
So. Oh, so he's obviously like getting around and be walking fairly soon?
I hope not. Crawl
well,
forever.
You could always bind his legs. I'm just kidding. So now I know you have a business, and for people who don't know, tell me about your business.
So the Bookman is a family-owned business. My dad bought it many, many years ago after a career as a nurse at the Chilliwack General Hospital.
Really?
Yeah, he worked on the children's ward for 11 years, and it was really tough for him when they started replacing practical nurses with registered nurses. And him and my mom were debating about what would be a good career move for him, and Erna's Book Nook came up for sale right around that time. Oh. And they took a leap of faith and made that investment, and that was over 26 years ago now.
Wow, yeah. Wow. Now you do have another branch too, right?
We do. About 5.5 years ago, we opened one up in Abbotsford in the Little Oak Mall. Kind of nerve-wracking opening up a second branch. You don't really know how that's going to go, but it's been successful. And one of my big passions is creating employment, and we've created 2 jobs out there, which is great.
Oh, that's cool. So how do you divide your time between the Chilliwack store and the one in Abbotsford?
The Abbotsford one, my dad oversees a lot, so I don't necessarily need to go out there very much, and I have a tremendous staff of really incredible women. So in my absence, they keep a really keen eye on things, and I'm able to stay at the mothership, as I like to call it.
So you don't have men working there?
We have Nietzsche, the bookstore cat. He's a dude.
Oh, I love him. He's yes, totally.
We have our shipper Eric. He's also a gentleman.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, he's a guy.
We'll go with gentleman.
Yeah, okay.
We'll go with gentleman. And then we have my father as well. And in and out over the years, we've had lots of guys working there. Buck has been with us for over 20 years now. So,
I'm just thinking about, like in today's age with technology, like people can Google stuff to get any kind of information. They can read books on tablets. Has that affected your business?
Well, that was one of the reasons why we opened the Abbotsford store. We saw a little dip one year and it made me nervous. And I thought to myself, like, what if I am going to lose, say, 2 or 3 out of every 10 customers to e-readers or Kindles? And I thought to myself, like, should I change my marketing or downsize my staff or, cut expenses? And I thought, no, I think I'll go find some new customers. So we opened the Abbotsford branch, and people who had been coming to us maybe once a year started coming once a month or once a week, and it became a much more regular thing for them. So by kind of expanding instead of turning inwards, it worked well. And the book industry as a whole has seen a real lift in the last year or two of people moving away from ebooks and back to paper books.
Oh, so, that's nice to know. So I imagine that for parents it would be important for them to encourage their children to read books, take them to the library. What do you think?
Oh, absolutely. And the library has some awesome story times. I think they do a baby story time on Wednesdays. They've got all kinds of family activities. And promoting that early childhood literacy just sets them up for success for their entire lives.
That is so cool, yeah. Now, I know you're also a board member for the Chilliwack Tourist.
I am, yeah, Tourism Chilliwack. I've been with them for a couple of years now, and they graciously gave me a year off to spend with my baby, which is nice. But I'll be returning to them in mid-May to continue service with them as well.
So as a board member, what does that entail?
We're kind of like a steering community for Tourism Chilliwack to make sure that they're meeting all the things that they're supposed to, that they're keeping the community in mind with everything that they do, and they do tremendous work. I mean, it's kind of easy in some ways because we live in such a beautiful place, but we're always highlighting things and looking at ways to get new visitors into town. So.
Right. But what do you personally do?
I go to a lot of very early board meetings.
Oh, okay.
And we do tete-a-tetes where we come up with ideas and we do plans for the year, we review budgets, things like that.
So tell me more about the Chilliwack tourism. How is that working for Chilliwack?
I think it's working really well. We're seeing incredible population growth because I see people coming here, realizing what we have, and deciding that they don't just want to visit here, they want to make this their home. We have mountains, rivers, lakes, all kinds of beautiful things to participate in. And there's been so many new restaurants and stores opening up that haven't been here in the past. So we're offering more and more to our community members.
Oh, very good. So how does the tourism get promoted? To bring, so people even know that we're here and what we have.
So we've got people that go to all kinds of outdoor shows to kind of highlight some of the things that Chilliwack has to offer. And we do an experience guide that we match up with other communities where we highlight kind of our best of, so that people in Langley and Abbotsford and out towards Vancouver can see all of the things that the Valley has to offer and hopefully come to Chilliwack.
How many people do you have involved in that?
Ooh, that's a good question. I gotta say at least a dozen.
Oh, that's really good. Okay. Now, I know that you like helping other people realize their dreams. What do you do? Like, how does that work?
Well, from, say, a staff perspective, when people join me, I mean, we are a retail operation, so a lot of people come with previous experience working on tills or, using Interact machines and giving basic customer service, but you might find that they've got a flair for making displays, or that they're really good with graphic design, or that they have something to offer that they've never had the chance to offer before. So finding that special gift that they have and nurturing it and encouraging them to develop that is something that I'm really passionate about.
I was going to talk about your live-in maid. Well, you said you don't have one, but is that true?
I don't have one. I do have a nanny. She stays with me, and she does some light housekeeping.
There you go, a live-in nanny. It's the same thing, I just used the wrong word.
Yeah, it's a temporary thing. I found that while the daycares in Chilliwack are excellent, I wanted a little bit more one-on-one care for my little guy while I was at work in those kind of really instrumental early years. So she's with us for another month now, and then he'll be going on to a larger daycare facility.
Oh, very nice. Is your father very involved being a grandpa?
I'm kind of surprised at how much my parents love being grandparents.
Yeah?
I think because, my sister didn't have children. She's in her mid-40s, and I'm, edging up towards 40 one of these days soon, in a decade or whatever. But I don't think that they really expected either of us to have children, and we'd all kind of made peace that our little family was as it is. So when the baby got announced, I was shocked, and my dad burst into tears.
Aww.
And he's never been so excited about anything. He gets him little trucks and toys, and he takes half a day off of book shopping to spend with him, which, if you know my dad, is a big deal. So.
Oh, that is so nice to hear. I'm glad to hear that. That is really precious, I think if we can keep family involved when we have children, right? Like they said, there's, it takes a village to raise a child.
Oh,
so
I agree.
That's really, really good. Yeah.
I agree.
Well, I'm not sure if there's anything else to talk about at this point, but so I'm thinking you're going to have to come back because I know you have much more in your life than that, don't you?
I do. I do keep out of trouble, that's for certain sure.
Is that fun?
Well, not being in trouble is more fun than being in trouble, like better repercussions. I'm really involved with a group called REACH this year, and we sponsored a Syrian family, so that's something else that I've been up to recently. I was just at a soccer match on Saturday with one of the young boys, and I haven't been on a soccer field for a while, but it was pretty fun.
Oh, that's really good.
Yeah.
So are there any, are you considering sponsoring other families, or what's that?
Well, I was really moved to do something for the Syrian people because it's such a massive problem. I think that this is probably a one-off for me. I find something that keeps my passion fresh in my life is to give everything I have to something for a finite period of time and then move to the next thing that my heart
that's really
finds.
good. Well, I really do appreciate you coming here, and I hope you'll come back again soon. Will you do that?
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Nancy.
Oh, for sure. We'll be right back. There's much more to come after this break.